Welcome to Education Today. I'm Kyle McWayne of West Shamokin High School in the Armstrong School District. Last season, we started a new segment here at Education Today, which highlighted various grants that were awarded to teachers throughout the previous school year. Tonight, we are going to continue that segment. As many know, budgets are becoming tighter and tighter, and the faculty and staff alike need to continue to be creative in ways to stretch everything out of every dollar. Every year, a handful of teachers use their creative and innovative ideas to write grants so that they can potentially receive money to buy items for their classes. Beginning this year, teachers will have the ability to submit grants for approval monthly instead of just twice a year to the ASD Foundation. Tonight, we are going to talk about a grant that was written to help with the unique educational opportunity available to all ASD students. We will hear from both the teacher and a few of the students who participated. Welcome to Education Today.
Thank you.
Would you please introduce yourself and your current role within the district?
My name is Mr. Randy Cloak, and I am a social studies teacher in the district at West Shamokin High School in Rural Valley.
What was the name of your grant, and when was it awarded to you?
The grant that I was awarded was titled the Global Classroom, and it was awarded a year ago. In fact, the items that we purchased with the grant were implemented just this past summer.
What kind of grant did you apply for, and what students were impacted by it?
I applied for a whole district or district-wide grant. It was a $5,000 grant, and the students impacted are those who choose to travel on the Global Classroom tours each summer. So every student in the Armstrong School District actually will have an opportunity to benefit from the investment of the Armstrong School District Foundation.
Could you tell us a little bit about the grant you wrote?
The grant that I wrote, again, was a $5,000 school or district-wide grant that was utilized to purchase iPad minis. We purchased 10 iPad minis and all of the things that go along with them, a number of different applications that can be used on the iPads, as well as anything else that was necessary for the iPads to be able to be used by the students when we travel. The Global Classroom is an opportunity that the Armstrong School District Board of School Directors actually a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, decided that they would allow to become part of the curriculum. So students earn a half credit, the same as sitting in a classroom for half of the school year in a social studies classroom. But the students earn this credit by doing some pre-tour activities as well as activities and both on and after the tours as we travel throughout Europe and different places in the world. So far, students have had the opportunity to travel to Costa Rica, England, France, Italy, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, and Austria. And this coming summer, we have a tour planned for Greece, Italy, and Spain, with many other destinations coming as well. So the grant will allow the students to utilize technology there, and we can talk a little bit more about the projects that they finish later, I'm sure.
How did you come up with this idea?
Traveling and seeing, I have an iPad myself that I use whenever I'm traveling, and it not only does it make it easier for communication with the parents while I'm traveling, but also it's easy to take photographs and quick videos, and I know students are always wanting to be using the newest technology, and so this was a perfect opportunity for them to utilize the technology and add to their educational experience while on tour.
Did or does the grant cover only your classes, or do multiple grades and teachers take advantage of this as well?
The grant was written specifically for the Global Classroom, so that is the main purpose of it, but the iPad minis are available to other teachers to use for different things throughout the school year.
And how did the students react to this grant?
Oh, the students are very excited. Later on during the show this evening, I'm sure some of the students will be happy to explain how they individually used the iPads, the technology that was available. But journaling is something I feel that's very important when on tour. And when you're writing in a notebook, sometimes the students will go off in the evening and do their journaling. But one thing I noticed with the iPads is that if we were on a bus going somewhere, the kids would get their iPad out, review their pictures, and write some notes. So I think having access to the information immediately helps the kids remember their tour and to journal a little bit better just because they have access to the things immediately.
What was the grant writing process like, and have you done anything like it before?
The grant writing process actually was quite simple. The Armstrong School District Foundation, I don't believe their intent is to have an arduous grant process. They simply want the ideas to be explained, and most importantly, how the money, if awarded, will benefit the most students possible. With limited budgets, oftentimes they have more requests than they have funding for. So the grant writing process just needs to explain why this grant is better suited for our students and giving our students an opportunity that they would not have otherwise. In some previous positions, I've written grants, but I found this to be probably one of the easiest processes because they're interested only in how will this benefit kids and how will this make an enjoyable opportunity for them.
What was or is the biggest benefit of having this grant awarded and instituted into your classes?
Oh, I think the biggest benefit is the access to technology that the students have while traveling. With Wi-Fi hotspots that are pretty much everywhere. One thing, as we traveled through Europe, we found that Starbucks and McDonald's always had Wi-Fi. But the kids had access not only to information, but also access to communication with their parents. This past summer we were in Europe for 2 weeks. So many students, I'm sure, enjoyed the ability to email with their parents and their friends just to keep in touch so everyone knew what was going on. So that access to the world in reality is probably the biggest benefit for these iPads.
Let's really focus on the class now. Could you give us a little more detail into what exactly the Global Classroom is?
The Global Classroom is a program that I started in the district 3 years ago, and the student participants do activities prior to going on tour, do activities on tour, and then a culminating project when they're done. That's where the technology comes in. So it's not necessarily a class, it's an activity. The tour is in the summertime. So the Armstrong School District students in grades 9 through 11 who participate earn a half credit, and that is earned with activities prior to. There's a novel that they read that in some way corresponds to the tour, a novel of their choosing. Write a paper of how what they've read about will increase their educational opportunities while traveling. And then while on tour, of course, they're using pictures and video and making a multimedia presentation of every culminating project of everything that they've learned while on tour.
Why did this program get started, and who led the charge, so to speak?
Well, it got started because as a student at Katanning High School, I won't say how many years ago, but a few years back, I had an opportunity to travel to Spain with my Spanish teacher. Tim Ash was my Spanish teacher. And I found it to be the most rewarding opportunity that I had during my entire time as a high school student. And so once I started teaching, I knew that I had to offer the same type of opportunity to my students, because when you break away from the things that you're familiar with, you break away from the area that you know so well, and expose yourself to new adventures, to new opportunities, you begin to realize how small the world is, in a sense, because you can go and people are the same everywhere you go, just doing things a little bit differently. And I think it gives appreciation for the students to see the world as it is and to see people in different aspects and different cultures.
Why is this program an important one, and what benefit does it have for the students who participate?
Well, again, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for students in a rural school district to have the opportunity to travel to different destinations. The district has, again, approved this for a half credit, so the students not only earn the credit, but they also earn the significant level of experiences. And the kids will talk later. A couple of students who participated in this past summer's tour are going to be guests later on during this program. And I think they can better explain how their lives have changed because of the experiences. You know, it's one thing to look at a picture in a book of the Eiffel Tower or of Buckingham Palace, and it's a completely different experience to be there and not only seeing it yourself, but watching life go by as you're standing there, because there are other visitors from other parts of the world talking and interacting, and I find that to be one of the most rewarding things I do as a teacher.
When and how is this program offered?
Every student in grades 9 through 12 are eligible to go. Students who are just finishing grades 9 through 11 can earn the half credit. Of course, once you graduate, the credit cannot be awarded retroactively. But every student in the Armstrong School District is eligible to participate.
There's travel involved in this, obviously. With travel being so expensive, how is the program and travel funded? What is the cost a student would have to contribute?
The tours are, I don't put the tours together necessarily. There's a company that I use out of Boston, EF Tours is the company that I use, and they're fantastic. As far as the cost, it's much less expensive to go in a group travel sort of way because we can be paired with groups of students from all over the United States. In the past, I've been with students from Washington, D.C., Washington State, Tennessee, Michigan, students from all over. This enables EF Tours to keep the cost as low as possible because they buy flights in bulk, they make rooming reservations in bulk. Everything they do is based on very large numbers, so they get a much reduced rate. The average cost is between $3,500 and $4,000 for an average 2-week trip, which includes airfare and transportation and lodging, food when you're traveling as well. So if you would compare the cost to do a tour like this to doing it on your own, the savings is substantial for the students. So that it's not something, the district does not cover the expenses. It's something that the students and their families have to do with fundraising assistance as well.
We know now that there are 2 parts to this, one being the classroom and one being the study abroad. What has gone over in the classroom part and how does it prepare the students for the trip abroad?
Again, the classroom part is not necessarily a traditional classroom. The students who are participating in the upcoming tour during the year that precedes their tour, we're constantly meeting, having discussions about where we're going, discussing the currency rate exchanges, the different cultures that are there, the things that we have to be careful of because there are cultural issues wherever you go, some things that you need to be aware of. And then, of course, the reading, the selection of the novel, the preparation that each student does individually based on their interests and what they want to focus and make their trip mostly about.
What kind of experiences are planned for the students?
The students participate in tours of historical landmarks, but we also try to allow for a substantial amount of free time in the cities that we visit. For example, this past summer, we were in Paris, and of course we went to the Arc de Triomphe and shopping areas around there. And the students had the opportunity to spend a couple of hours exploring Paris on their own. And so we went and found a restaurant that was off the beaten path, and we went in, and of course French was spoken. English was not something that any of the members of the staff spoke. So the students had to adapt to that environment, and it to me was a wonderful experience where the students were able to use the French that they knew and have a conversation with Parisians and work through that experience. And I find that to be one of the most educational opportunities of the trip, is just the actual immersion into the culture and experiencing it with every breath.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. Stick around.
Before I came to IUP, I had no idea what college would be like or what role I would play or where I'd be in the future. But when I came to IUP, everything changed. I met people who really made me feel like I belonged. I had great classes at a great nationally ranked university. Hi, my name's Megan Miller. I'm a fine arts major, and this is my university.
I'm Jenna Cochran. We're back with Armstrong School District Education Today. We're talking about the global classroom and the grant that helped assist students with the program requirements. As you can see, we brought on a few students now. Can you guys please introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Vince Passerini. I'm a senior at West Shamokin High School.
I'm Riley Stitt, and I'm a junior at West Shamokin High School.
I'm Tim Stewart, and I'm also a junior at West Shamokin High School.
When you signed up for the class, what were your expectations?
Well, I knew we'd be traveling overseas to like 6 or 7 countries, so I really don't know really what to expect. But I knew it would be amazing, which it was.
I thought it was going to be awesome, and it ended up being awesome.
I expected it to be just a normal trip. I didn't expect anything near as amazing as it was. So.
What experience did you have over the summer?
We have a lot of experiences. They're very fast-paced on the trip, so you see a lot every day, and the experiences that you gain really open your eyes to, our trip was World War II themed, so we were able to see a lot of Omaha Beach and a lot of the key factors that we talk about in class, and now you actually get to see them for yourself and stand there and look at it, and it's very surreal.
We experienced a lot of different cultural stuff than what's like goes on here. It was like very eye-opening how different countries function compared to ours.
It was very fast-paced. The social situations of every kind were very different because of the language barrier. The different kinds of foods, every meal was an adventure, so everything was new. It was incredible.
What was your favorite part about this whole program?
I think the best part was actually seeing the iconic things. Like in the project, we read about a book about the Holocaust, and it's one thing to read about the concentration camps and the crematoriums and the gas chambers, and then to actually be in Germany and walk through the gas chambers and to see an actual camp that was used in the war, or to stand underneath the Eiffel Tower at the foot of the Brandenburg Gate, or lean up against the Berlin Wall. These things you just hear of when you're actually there and experiencing them. It's really something.
My favorite part was probably just being able to go everywhere. It's something that I've like only dreamed of prior to this, so that was pretty amazing.
Mine was probably how incredibly new everything was, because I don't think I did anything that I've done before on that trip. I learned so much about myself just doing all of these new things, and it was incredible.
Mr. Cloak, what was required of the students for this program, both in the classroom and while on the trip?
The classroom requirements, as I mentioned earlier, are limited. The students actually choose and guide their own educational preparation for the trip when it comes to the selection of novels to read and the writing of the paper and how that novel is going to, the information in the novel is going to increase their educational value of the trip. On tour, of course, we do educational things every day, visit different sites, tour different facilities, but there's an ongoing discussion among myself and all of the students where we're talking about the culture, talking about the places that we're going. And as a part of that, the students are utilizing the iPads that the ASD Foundation grant purchased to take pictures, to take videos, and in many cases videoing themselves interacting with individuals in Paris or Berlin or Munich or wherever the tours take us. Of course, whenever we get back, the students work to complete their culminating project, which is a multimedia presentation summarizing their adventures and what they learned on the tour. But the requirements are really no more than what the students would do anyway. I just think it's a fantastic opportunity that the Armstrong School District has made this available to the students to earn credit for such an amazing adventure.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to share about the program?
I would just encourage everyone to look into it, even if it's a remote possibility. It really is very life-changing. You wouldn't think it to be. It's just a vacation, but it really is so much more than a vacation. It's so much more than laying on the beach. It's getting a history lesson by living the history and not learning about it. You're actually there, living and seeing what actually happened versus in a book. Much different.
It was a great opportunity to like make new friends and meet new people too. It's like Mr. Cloak said earlier, where we're with other schools from across the country, and then even kids from our own school district that go to different schools that we've never met before. It was really great, like getting to meet all the new people.
The food was really good. It was fantastic. Every European country has fantastic food.
And shopping.
And shopping. Food and shopping, yeah.
How are all of these events and experiences planned?
The days are all very structured. I feel we had an excellent tour guide this year. We had an excellent tour director, and everything's very set up for you to just walk into, which is very nice because you're not constantly worrying about what are we going to do now, what are we going to do next, what is there to see, are we missing it? No, you're seeing the best there is to see. It's set up for you already, and you just go and experience it, and it's like no hassle, which is great.
What is on tap for this coming year?
The next tour for this summer is Greece, Italy, and Spain. There will be, it's a 2-week tour, 14 days. 2015, summer of 2015 is Hawaii, Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand. And 2016 is the Britannia. We will visit England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And again, all Armstrong School District students in grades 9 through 12 are eligible to participate. There are no prerequisites for participation in the tours. And if anyone is interested, they can email me at the school.
Is there anything else any of you would like to add for the benefit of our viewers?
Just like we said earlier, it really is something. Like, take your expectation and take it up by 10. Whatever you expect, it's like 10 times greater, because you're actually, like I said, you're there experiencing things you never thought you'd experience. And you experience the new things that you never think you're going to, and then you end up experiencing them to such a level of degree where it's just overwhelming of how life-changing trips really are.
Well, that's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Randy Cloak, a teacher here in the Armstrong School District. I'd also like to thank our student guests, Riley Stitt, Vincent Passerini, and Tim Stewart of West Shamokin High School. Our thanks also go out to the TV production students of West Shamokin High School, led by their teacher, Miss Karen Coulter. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District. Visit our website for updated information about the district, and have a great week.